If you would, please, let's welcome Mskendraelaine.
Is it okay if I hold this?
Yes.
Good morning, good morning. Thank you all so much for having me. It is a great honor to be here to share with you all today. I want to first give glory to God. Thank Him for another day to share my message with someone and just be in the house of the Lord. I definitely always hold this honor in high esteem. Thank you so much for having me. Like she said, I'm a transformational speaker and author here in St. Louis. I started off with working with single women, and a lot of people, when I tell them that I am a life coach for single women, they ask me if that means I'm a relationship coach, and the answer is no. If you ask my friends, they'll tell you that I'm more likely to talk someone out of a relationship than to help them fix it. But that's just because I'm not in the business of fixing relationships just yet. Maybe one day. I'm more in the place of helping people to become their best selves so they can choose better relationships. So in that, I use a lot about, like she said in my intro, confidence and mindset, and I always use the analogy of seeds and planting and harvest. So I was really excited to get invited here today to talk to you on your Harvest Sunday. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about planting the seeds of legacy. So the reference, the scripture that I'm going to reference is Matthew 9:36 through 38. And it says, "When he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them because they were weary and scattered all around, like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, 'The harvest is plenty, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into the harvest field.'" So let's talk a little bit about seeds for a second. The reason why seeds is one of my favorite analogies to use is just because the awesomeness and the power of a seed. I think it's one of God's just little miraculous things. Of all the things that come from seeds, there are so many things. Has anyone here ever seen a sequoia tree? They are huge. I mean, sequoia trees are huge. They can be 20 feet wide and 300 feet tall with roots that go down 12 feet. I mean, these are these massive things. And it comes from this tiny little seed, not even a big seed. It's like your average everyday, like you would think anything else. And what's so amazing about it is from that seed comes a tree. And from that tree will produce hundreds of thousands of more seeds every year that can then be planted and create the same thing. So in one seed, it's not just the potential for one tree, it's the potential for a forest of trees. It has infinite potential and power. An actor in the 1920s once compared the mystery of a watermelon to the mystery of God. He said, "When you can explain to me the mystery of a watermelon, then you can ask me to explain the mystery of God." Because he was referencing the fact that you have this little small black watermelon seed, and it can pull in from the ground 200,000 times its weight and become this watermelon that has a green outside, a white rind, red flesh, filled with black seeds that can then go and do the same exact thing over and over again. And then you have the mustard seed, tiny but mighty. We've all heard of, have the faith the size of a mustard seed. It's this tiny little thing. And I was reading a book, and I actually had to ask Google to confirm what this book was telling me about the mustard seed. I wanted to make sure it wasn't lying to me. But it said this tiny mustard seed has all these vitamins and nutrients in it. It has vitamin B1, B6, C, E, and K. It has potassium, zinc, iron, all this stuff in this tiny little seed. And the point is that God was able to jam-pack all this stuff into these seeds so that they could become what they were destined to be. Even though we look at them as they're really small, and if we didn't know anything about planting or about seeds, if I showed you a seed and then a watermelon, or a seed and then a sequoia tree, and I told you this is going to become this, you might think I was crazy if we didn't know any better, because it's so small. And I think that sometimes we look at ourselves and we look at our purpose and our legacy with that same doubt. Like, no, I can't do that. No, I can't fix the situation in my family. I can't affect my community. When God puts a vision on our hearts for our purpose and what we're meant to do in this life, we say, little old me, can't do all that. That's too big. I'm not smart enough. I didn't go to the good schools. I'm not rich enough. I don't have the money yet. I'm not this. I'm too old. I missed my mark, or I'm too young. I can't even think about that. That's too big for me. And we talk ourselves out of our destiny because we're too busy looking at the seed instead of looking at the power and the potential that God put in the seed.
All right, that's it.
We're too busy we focus on the facts and not on the truth. The fact is we are small, but the truth is our God is infinite. The fact is we might not be as smart as we think we should be. We might not have all the money that we want to have. We might not have all the things that we think we need to succeed or that someone else told us we needed to succeed. But the truth is, God has equipped us with all that we need to become who He wants us to be. He's empowered us with all that we need to do what He created us to do. But we doubt it. Every day we doubt it. And the enemy wants us to stay in that doubt. He wants us to stay confused and doubting our power and our greatness because he knows that just like that sequoia seed that can produce a tree, that can produce a tree, that can produce a forest, that can produce a forest, he knows that your greatness, your legacy, and your purpose can affect generation after generation and generation. So he wants to keep you in that doubt. And that's why it's so important to have vision. You have to have a vision for your life and what you want to do here. And it's so funny, I'm never not surprised when I talk to people and they don't have a vision. They don't have goals or aspirations or things that they're working towards. And they come and they talk to me and they're trying to figure out why they're stuck or why they're miserable and frustrated. And I'm like, well, where are you trying to go? And they're, I don't know. I'm like, well, how can you get somewhere and you don't have any directions? How can you expect to reap something if you're not sowing anything?
Right.
And we all know you can't plant something and expect something else. I can't plant a lemon seed and expect pumpkins.
Right.
I can't plant an oak tree and expect tomatoes.
Right.
And just like in our life, we can't plant seeds of doubt and lack and poverty and hate and anger and then expect to reap positivity and love and abundance. We have to plant the seeds that we want to then reap. But in that, we have to have a vision. We have to ask God, God, what is your plan for my life? What is my purpose here? What is that vision? Because when you get a clear vision on what you want in your life and what you're striving to do and your purpose, that way you can have better discernment as far as which seeds to plant and which seeds to receive. Because there are so many things out here trying to plant the wrong seeds in our mind and in our spirit to keep us stuck. But if you have a vision from God, if you know, like, this is my purpose, this is what I'm trying to do, you can have a better sense of, no, I don't need that seed, or no, I don't need that negativity right now. I don't need that. This is what I'm focused on right now. And the vision for your life, as far as your purpose and your legacy, it should go beyond you. Sometimes when I ask people, what do you want for your life? We get into talking about materialistic things like cars and houses and all that's really nice. But you want your vision and your purpose to go beyond you. The vision shouldn't be for the money and the material things. It should be go to how you're using those provisions to help other people.
Yeah.
Because helping other people, that's how you grow your legacy. That's how you're planting your seeds. No matter how small or how big, when you help someone, that's planting a seed. Maybe it's planting a seed of hope so that they can know that their situation can change.
Right.
Maybe it's a seed of love so they know that God hasn't forgotten about them.
Right.
Maybe it's a seed of gratitude so that when they can give back, they're so grateful for what you did for them that they pay it forward, and now they're planting seeds, and they're planting seeds, and they're planting seeds. And that's how it grows. We want to help each other. We want to encourage each other and plant seeds in each other. And that's why I always tell people, you don't have to be rich, or you don't have to be where you think you need to be to start planting your seeds of legacy now. I believe that, if God sees you right now where you are, planting seeds in your family's life, planting seeds in your community's life, in your church's life, He'll bless you so that you can plant more. Because we're blessed so that we can be a blessing to others.
Yeah.
Your vision should go beyond you, because the thing with legacy is carried on without you.
Yes.
Legacy is carried on after you. It's carried on by and through the people who you touched and whose lives you affected and whose lives you helped. So you want the vision to go beyond yourself. And the truth is, we need each other. We need each other. We need each other in every single season, but especially during the harvest season. Now, before I knew all about the analogy of the harvest season. Like before I really dug into the research of, agriculturally what that looks like, I had a sense of the harvest season being real easy. Like when I heard people talk about it, I'd be like, okay, so you plant your seed, you water it, you cultivate it, you stay obedient, you're working, and then the harvest is the easy part. I just sit here and I just receive. I did all this work, and all I have to do is sit here, and the glory is gonna come, the promise is gonna come, bags of money just gonna be dropped off at my door. That's just what I thought of the harvest season. That's not how it works at all, is it? So when I looked it up and really got into it, the harvest season is a lot of work. Farmers, when it's time to harvest, they have to call other farmers, or they call farm hands. They call other skilled and like-minded people to come help them. Because there's so many crops, you have to, and there's a certain window of time, and so they need help to get the crop up in that window of time so that they then can use the crop to get the promise, but they need help. So they call on other people. We don't always do that though, do we? Call on other people. I was talking to my dad not long ago, and we were just talking, have a general conversation, and he asked me, before we got off the phone, he was like, Kendra, are you okay? He's like, I know you're doing your business and everything. He's like, are you good, financially and everything? And I was like, and can I be honest in here with you all? We're like in a judgment-free zone right now. I was going through a financial strain. I'm in a harvest season, and I was going through financial strain, and I kind of told him about it. He's like, why didn't you tell me? He's like, why didn't you call me? And I was like, I don't know. I literally didn't even think about it. And he was like, I know what it's like. He's like, I know what it's like to want to start a business or be in between jobs. He's like, I've been there. He's like, I'm here to help you. And when we got off the phone, I thought about that because I'd heard that phrase before. Why didn't you call me? And I thought about other situations where I would be, even little things, when I was planning my mom's surprise birthday party, running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to do everything, pick up the food, pick up the balloons, go do this, go do that. And my cousins were like, Kendra, why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you call us? Why didn't you ask for help? Yeah. And I hate to say that it's ego, but it was like, when I think about it, it's like, well, because it's mine. Like, I picked this, I planted these seeds, I've been watering, I've been cultivating, I've been working, I've been doing the late nights and early mornings, and I've been praying, and I've been obedient. It's my blood, sweat, and tears, and this is my situation. And I'm in a harvest, I'm a fix it. I can do it myself. I can do it myself. Never mind the fact that I'm actually drowning, trying to do it myself. But I'm like, I can do it myself. I can do it. And it's crazy that the truth of a harvest is you can't do it alone. We try to and we want to, and it's not because we think somebody's going to say no or let us down, but if you're anything like me, sometimes I just be so deep in it that I don't even look up to see if there's anyone that I can ask for help. It's not even crossing my mind. But we need each other. And the thing is, the enemy wants us to think that we can do it alone. The enemy wants us to grow weary and discouraged. And he wants us to say things like, if this were meant for me, it would be easier. If God wanted me to do this, I'd be able to do it on my own. He wants us to say things like that to talk us out of our destiny. But the truth is, we need each other. Just like people need to see me going after my dreams and doing what I'm doing, I need to see you. I need to see you planting your seeds. I need to see how you cultivate and how you weather the storm. We need to talk to each other. We need each other in this season. I need to help you during your harvest. I need to help you whether you need a couple dollars, or you just need a prayer, or you need encouragement, or you just need someone to say, you know what, I've been there and I made it out. But we need each other in this harvest season. And we have to realize that we progress by helping each other. Our legacy progresses and grows by planting seeds in each other. And I want to leave you guys by saying, don't be discouraged. I think some people think that they're not in a harvest season right now because things are hard. But harvest season is difficult. And it's hard work, but that's why you have family. That's why you have friends. And that's why you have church, family, and community to lean on and ask each other for help and talk to each other. That we need each other's encouragement. We need each other's accountability. We need each other's help and guidance. We need each other just to be together during this harvest season. The scripture said that, he said, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. I believe that God has an amazing and abundant harvest for all of us. And he's just waiting on us. He's waiting on the laborers. He's waiting on the people that are willing to do the work. He's waiting on us to realize that we can't do it by ourselves. That we need to ask each other. We need to help each other. We need to sow seeds into each other. He's waiting on us to come together. So if you're going through a hard time right now, I believe that you're in your harvest season. And you need to call on each other. Don't go at it alone. Call on each other. Lean on each other. Pray for each other. Encourage each other. Say, I got you in this. Praise the Lord with each other. Thank God for each other. We want to harvest in this season together. We need to labor together so that we can make it through to our promise, but we need each other during that season. So don't be discouraged if things are hard. Call on each other. That's what we're all here for. He put us here so we can commune together and build each other up and encourage each other through the hard times so that we can make it to the promise, so that we can leave a legacy behind of the lives that we touched and the people whose lives we affected. We want to leave something for those behind us. We want to encourage each other. So in this season, know that you need each other. So come together to labor with each other so you can reap the harvest that God has for you. Thank you.